The latest big delivery. So things are coming thick and fast now to the house to try and get it closer to the finish. And this is the tongue and groove, which I bought for the ceilings, which is apparently very good from all the reviews I've read. It's very easy to fit. It's very much against the humidity and stuff, so shouldn't be any problems with that. And it's A rated, so that's another good sign as well. I had various things turn up and various things that didn't turn up with the delivery. So they actually missed an entire pallet and he had to return with that. So he wasn't overly pleased. He'd asked me to do normally when you get the stuff, you sign what they call a bon de livraison, which is just saying you've received it. And I was like, well, where are the toilets and where's this and where's that? He's like, oh shit. He said he'd already returned once because they'd rang him up when he was 20 minutes down the road, saying they'd forgot to put the sole pipes on, so he had to return back for them, and they'd obviously still forgotten to put the pallet on. Anyway, we've got the window for the third bedroom. We've got a couple of oak effect short worktops. I haven't actually designed the kitchen as yet. I'll sort of play it by ear. I'm still waiting to re-see the buffets that I've bought, see what size they are. There are also 3 wall units that were missing as well that didn't arrive. And then we've got this insulation, which is sort of semi-rigid, and that's going to be for between the upstairs, particularly sort of the staircase part and the third bedroom, and where it meets the kitchen, or it comes into above the kitchen. So that's going to be fitted between the oak beams, and then we'll put some sort of slightly more rigid surface in front, either side of it, to hold it in place. And there you can see the soil pipes that he did actually bring after returning quickly back to the depot midway through his delivery. And then we've got a bit more insulation coming up. So we've got the insulation, which is 200mm thick. That's for the vaulted ceiling in the kitchen. And there's also some slabs there as well, which is for in between the partition wall for the downstairs loo and the panelling, which I'm kind of doing at the moment in the kitchen. Decided I'm going to use up some of the old. There's couple of old wardrobes that had a fair bit of woodworm attack on them, but I've recovered some of the panels and stuff, and looking to use them in a sort of caravanish way in the kitchen. You'll see what I mean later. So it's a wild and wacky idea I had of memories in caravanning in rainy Scotland or rainy North Wales as a child. So few ideas there coming through. And also what I like about these deliveries is you end up with 3 pallets at the end of it. Don't mean 3 pallets, I mean 3 pallets. And he did return with the toilets. It was very good of him to do that. There you go. Pretty basic stuff. 2 toilets, and also the wall units, which weren't delivered either, which were missing, which were also on the pallet that had been left at the depot. Basic white 80 centimetre wall units. So there'll be 3 of those going into the kitchen area. And then there'll be things like extractor fans and that going in, but that'll be a later stage. And there's a kitchen sink there, and everything but the kitchen sink. And now we've got the kitchen sink. And there's also got the taps out as well. I've got the taps of that. And there's a couple of legs for the worktops. I've got a feeling that one of the worktops going to use as sort of almost like a table type. So it'll spin off from the wall. And the legs there will give some support, and then you can put chairs underneath it, and it'll be like a mini breakfast bar, or however you'd want to call it. So there's the legs there. I wanted chrome, but they didn't have chrome, so I ended up in black. So So we'll wait and see how that looks. If not, I'll paint them white. Right, so that finally that part of the delivery turned up. There's other stuff coming as well from Amazon and other places. And then it's just a question of, now I've got saw pipes, I need to knock a hole in this part of the ceiling and try and run my evacuation out from there. The room above the floor isn't sufficient, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to knock a big enough hole through here where the beam finishes, and then continue on through here through to the outside. I'll have to just chop back whatever I need to chop back and make good afterwards, because I need to get this pipe working. The shower cabin is due very soon as well, and the front door and another window. So the window that will be replacing the window you can see there in the picture. That's the bricks prior to being laid. There's only about 20 bricks left now after all that. So this footage was just taken just before when I started to work out what I'm going to do with the saw pipes. And then there's a few repairs and stuff that need taking care of as far as the ceiling's concerned. Oh, and there's the free bed. That's the bed that came with the house. There's a mattress as well, believe it or not, still in its wrapper. So the bed was never ever put together. It was still in the top of this cardboard box when I first took possession of the house. So it's only a tiny bed though. It's only 1.40 meters. What's that, about 4'6" bed. So sort of a singles bed these days. And there you got the mattress there in the other side corner. Never been used, never been slept on. So somebody the pleasure of that. Then we've got these repairs that need doing to the ceiling in there. Alright, so this is where the part work's going to go in, but other than that, you've got a few areas which have been patched in before and look a bit naff, so, and recessed, so they need to be taken care of as well. Probably do that with plasterboard, probably the easiest option. There was a big hole there at one time. They put like a gate up above in the loft area, so no one would fall through it. So these are things of the many 1,001 things that's left to do. This is one of them. The other ceiling isn't too bad at all. It's just making good where this drain sort of vent system went in, or what was meant to push the hot air from the wood burner through to that part of the room. There you can see a few more bits and pieces that need tidying up. Yeah, so there's a few bit of making good, and there's still a bit more sanding to do on these beams. One or two of the beams still need a second go on the sanding down before we do the linseed oil and the thinners to give it some sort of finish. And then I had a wacky idea. I was going to do something partially with the pallets and partially with the old wardrobe that was, or two wardrobes that were there. They've got these quite nice sort of recessed panels, and they're a bit warped in that, but I thought, well, that'd be quite nice to my mind anyway. Put them in like that, and then they just need wee bits of trim just where they join, because obviously you have a slight gap there, millimetre gap. And then I'll probably bring it in white or a very pale colour, but one or two of these I'll actually paint in blackboard paint, and that way then you got the fun bit of, you can mark what you need for your shopping the next time you're going out or whatever, or just little notes to yourself. I used to like making little blackboards and giving them to people, believe it or not. Back in the day when I came across bits of wood that people were sort of chucking out, if they were panel sized, I'd make blackboards from them. So practically everybody I knew ended up with a blackboard. And I'll do the same here. So 90% of that will be white, but the one or two panels I'll leave as blackboard, which is just a bit of fun. And the gap there you can see is for where one of the wall units is going to go. So wall unit will go between the two windows there, and then the other two wall units will go on the opposite wall where the cooker's going to go, so above the cooker, either side of the extractor. Anyway, very short video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next video with a bit more information.